James Pennebaker, who has done 40 years of research on emotional processing in a study of recently laid off workers, revealed that those workers who delved into their feelings of humiliation, anger, anxiety, and relationship difficulties were 3 times more likely to have been reemployed than those who just tried to control their feelings. Delving into their emotions made them able to reappraise and rethink about themselves, situations, and their own values, and find a better and meaningful way to get along with their feelings and thoughts. Do not forget that feelings are much like waves. We cannot stop them from coming, but we can choose which one to surf. Emma Sapala and Christina Bradley, in their article, published in Harvard Business Review in 2019, explained that people tend to regulate their emotions in one of 2 ways: suppression or reappraisal. Reappraisal, or reassessing an emotional situation, may be the most effective strategy in different situations. In this way, you rethink about the situation, your emotion, and your values, and you ask yourself these key questions. How intense is my emotion? Is it proportional to the given situation, or higher than that? Does it really have conflict with my values? Do they really want to undermine me and my values? Maybe I am wrong, and it is just a misunderstanding. Even if my emotion is completely right, is it wise to react promptly and intensively? Is it worth? What are the consequences? Think beyond that moment. How can I keep my values without reacting promptly? What are other possible choices? These are the key questions that you should ask yourself to reappraise the situation. Do not forget that in most disputes or bitter situations, others do not really want to undermine our values or personality, but they are trying to save face for themselves or benefit from situation, or not to let others undermine their own values. You can see a lot of such situations in disputes between couples or friends, or in difficult conversations between employers and employees. Remember this beautiful quote: do not get upset with people or situations. Both are powerless without your reaction. Studying the memoir of great people in history shows that very often, tipping points and big pivoting moments in their life have happened to them when they were in peak of emotions, and when they were so emotional or even fragile. So, never think that being emotional is a weakness point. All emotions are good and necessary for surviving and thriving. Your anger helps you rise against the injustice. Your anxiety and fear help you react promptly and save your life in dangerous situations. Your sadness and grief help you show your appreciation to your loved people. Your disappointment helps you recognize that something is wrong around you or within you. Your embarrassment helps you learn not to judge others when you are not aware of the facts. Your shame helps you avoid doing the things which can harm others. We need our emotions and feelings for better work and higher performance. But we should know how to use them to empower us, not weaken us. As Neil Tyson said, rationality and creativity never drive people as much as emotions do. In addition to how to control our emotions, there is another important point that we should keep in mind. Emotions are very contagious. We all are susceptible to catch others' emotions easily. So we should be mindful and do not let others induce their emotions on us, consciously or unconsciously. Imagine a person in a team who is constantly saying negative points about the work. Or conversely, consider a team lead who constantly spreads the positive spirit in the team and encourage people. How they can affect your emotions and feelings. As Jessica Garza beautifully says in her TED Talk, others' emotions are like pricks, which can go into your body and mind easily. For some people, it takes just a few moments to be affected by others' emotions. For some, it takes hours or days. But the crucial point is that we all are susceptible to catch others' emotions and feelings. She explains two possible methods using which we can control not to be affected by others' emotions and feelings. First, cognitive reappraisal. And second, mindful acceptance. In cognitive reappraisal method, when you get emotional, for example upset, disappointed, angry, or anything else, first you should pause and rethink about the situation. You should try to reassess the situation based on your values and goals. Take this example. You are going into a room in your workplace, and the people in that room immediately leave the room without saying any word. What do you feel in that moment? Yes, you might feel annoyed, but you should pause and rethink for a while about the situation. There is no reason for you to be upset or annoyed. Maybe they had a tough conversation or were mad at something, but there is nothing to do with you. By thinking about the situation and reappraising the circumstance, you can control yourself not to be affected by their emotions and feelings. In another example, imagine you have a boss who always gets angry and uses abusive language when he speaks with you, and this irritates you and drives you mad. But this time, you want to control yourself and not be affected by his emotions. So, when he is talking angrily, you pause and tell yourself that, yes, he is angry, and this is part of his personality. But he is spending time to walk me through what I need to do or fix, and this is exactly what I want. So, no reason for me to be angry. By training your brain to think like this, you would be able to control the situation. Of course, it is not very easy and needs practicing, but it is absolutely worth. The second method for not being affected by others' emotions is mindful acceptance. In this method, you accept the situation as it is, not as you want to be. Keep in mind that acceptance does not mean that you are okay with that situation or you want it to continue, but it means that you admit that as an event and want to understand it to see if it is worth attaching to. As Jessica Garza describes, you can utilize this method by doing these 3 steps.
Okay, so what? Then what?
First, you tell yourself that it is okay, it is fine. No need to react promptly or do anything in response very quickly. By saying okay, you stop any additional judgment to the person or situation. After this step, you ask yourself, so what? By asking this question, you are able to understand the situation better and perceive that event. And after a good understanding about the situation, you ask yourself, then what? Asking this question after understanding the event allows you to decide to go with that event or no. You should think about your values and the consequences of your decision at that moment, instead of being influenced by others' emotions and feelings. Studies suggest that cognitive reappraisal leads to immediate emotional relief in negative situations, and mindful acceptance is well suited for better short-term physiological reaction in unpleasant situations. You can practice both techniques interchangeably, and by doing that, you would be able to regulate your emotions effectively.